Welcome to the SUGA CRAVE Show, guys. I'm excited for today's guest. He's got a brand new track out on Spotify called Ajura. He's got an EP called Life of Ikayh, which is fantastic. I recommend one of his tracks called Alcohol, which is a great track. And he's just a good friend of mine. So this is Ikayh. Well, brother, it's finally great to meet you, man. I just been a big fan ever since your EP, and it's just Alcohol, man, bro. That song is just pure amazing. Just going through the whole transition of it. What got you started with that song?
Well, the truth is that song, like I wrote that song a long time before it eventually dropped. So all I had to do was to like re-record it again with like a different beat this time. And so I have this particular producer I work with. I mean, he's the one that has been behind like most of my songs. So we just hopped in the studio. It was quite overnight, and I mean the beats pattern. It was very, very different from the rest of my EP songs. So
Really?
when I just heard like the intro of it, I was like, damn, that's like the intro of my EP. That has to be it because it was too lit, like the beat on its own, purpose of the song itself. So it was a nice song. I mean, it was a great song, even though it's kind of fictional. But then I love the process of making it.
Yeah, no, it had so good qualities. The saxophone. When I heard the saxophone, I was like, come on, man, that's just a vibe. When you just it's like a party. You know what I mean? Just like it seemed like a cool, like sick ass like theme of it. And overall, man, I just seen the evolution of you from your EP to Ajura, which we'll go into that later. But man, it's just what gets you inspired to make your sound?
Okay, so I think I'm usually inspired by any and everything. What I mean is, most times it depends on the kind of situation I find myself in at the moment. I don't usually find myself in very sad situations, so that's why you hardly see sad songs. Like I hardly drop sad songs. I mean, but most times it has to revolve around relationships. It has to revolve around women. I mean, that's basically what my life has been about.
Yeah,
So
it's every man's life.
new ideas every day. So there's usually like new ideas every day, maybe from heartbreaks down to girls, not giving you the attention you think you need and stuff like that. So I just get to create.
It's almost like inspiration of your everyday life, of your emotions and stuff. And I feel like sometimes it's hard for at least us men to kind of put our emotions out, in the world. So do you see that it's almost kind of a way for you to express your emotions in your songs?
Yeah. I usually use my songs to express myself. So a lot of stuff you hear in my lyrics, I mean, they usually apply to myself. Some people might think it's just usual banters like music that you just add that stuff and create fictions, but not all my lyrics has to do with fiction. I mean, some of them have to do with my personal life and stuff. Even the relationship parts of my lyrics are actually real to an extent. So that's how it is.
It'd be kind of. Oh, go ahead.
Listen.
No, I was gonna say it'd be kind of cool to do like a breakdown of like one of your tracks, kind of like what they do in. I think they do it in. I forgot what program they do it on YouTube, but they break down each specific line and they kind of like they tell a story behind it and stuff. Because I feel like, especially Alcohol, I feel like there's maybe some stories that you got there that's like it'd be really cool to kind of explain.
Oh yeah. For Alcohol, well, I remember, and the funny thing is, the story behind Alcohol wasn't even on the situation that happened recently. It was like something that happened a long time ago. So I went to a party. It wasn't a club in this sense, but I went to a party and I kind of saw this chick that I was a bit attracted to. So like I just wanted to like get to know her and everything, even though it didn't go as planned, but I just thought about the whole situation I was in then, and I used that to create the vibe.
That's awesome. That denial, it's like it's ruthless, but it's funny that you actually kind of came up with that idea of making that the song Alcohol by that experience of it's cool, man. I think it's awesome because you can kind of feel the background of your style, your sound. Like you started when you were 15, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, I started when I was 15.
And then from there, What, like, when you were you trying to learn more? So when you were 15, how did you start with music?
Okay, so fun facts. I started as a rapper. I mean, hardcore rap. You understand? So, like, I still rap, but
Uh-huh.
I just don't put out raps. Right now, like putting out a rap song or writing raps is a bit stressful for me because my method of creating music now is a bit different. I mean, when I used to write rap, I have to sit down, I have to think, I have to put down punchlines. You know how rap goes. But this time around, when most of the songs I've dropped that I've released, I mean, I don't write lyrics. I don't put lyrics in papers. No, I don't do. That's not how I create. Like
Mm.
I have this app on my iPhone. It's called Take. So I use that to record. So most times I just like get beats from my producers and then I put it in my phone and I just listen and then I first like do a full freestyle from beginning to the end. Obviously, it won't make sense, but what I'm trying to get from that is like the vibe. I always realize that when I do like a festival on beats and stuff, I usually bring out like vibes that I wouldn't get if I was focusing on it. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So just being playful on it gives me like different melodies that I'll need, and then I start to construct it from the beginning down to the end of the song. So that's how I create. And it's a bit fast for me. I don't take time creating songs.
So basically, you try to get the melody out, and then you try to get the words out. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
No,
Exactly.
I
So
think that's actually a good idea because then you're like, okay, let me see if I could find this catchy melody. Then let me find words that will fit in that realm.
yeah, because a problem I used to have then when I mean, I won't say I started from scratch, not writing lyrics. I used to write lyrics, but one problem I had is if I write, like I'm very, 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 what's the word? I write songs in a very fast pace. So in like a week, I could put out like, or write out like 5 songs. Now, the issue I had with writing songs is I tend to like circle around similar lyrics, similar wording, similar vibes, which makes all your songs kind of sound alike. So I had to find a possible way out of that, which is to just play on the beat and free myself and take time with it. So that has helped me. Like that's why my songs hardly sound alike. That's the truth.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's focus though that you kind of keep it the same realm as you, because or else if you like, I feel like your audience or your dedicated fans could feel that you are you're trying to force something that isn't. But I don't hear that, especially on Ojoro. I feel like I listen to your EP. And it's you. It's definitely you in that track, but another
But in like a
producer.
different vibe.
Yeah, it's just
No,
like,
you see, the funny thing is the same producer of alcohol that's on Ojoro.
no way. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, damn. All right, that's awesome. That is awesome,
It's the same producer.
man. That guy. Shout out to who's that producer on there?
Bon. His name is Bon. His name
Bowen.
is Bon.
Shout out to Bowen, man. That dude, like that is just heater. Because when you released that recently, Ajura, I was like, man, dude, it just got so many cool elements. It's like swanky. It's like it's a vibey kind of track. And then, but it has you. It has you on top of it. Just what is the meaning behind Ajura?
Okay, so Ojoro is like a slang. It's more of Yoruba.
Okay.
It means like cheat, like when you cheat to cheat. That's what it means. So it's like that's what it means, cheating. So when you listen to the context it was used in the song, it sounds like okay, because you're cheating, I was to call my guys. Like that's what the lyrics is about.
Okay.
So it's like about cheating.
But not getting caught, letting your homies know that that's what's going on, right?
Yeah. That's what it is.
Is that is that kind of like the vibe that's kind of going? Because I've noticed that with some Afro beats, because there's different types of Afro beats, right? Is there is there like a signature sound in Largos or like in Nigeria period that's like that is our style?
You see, the major problem Afrobeat has these days is that I still feel personally that in Nigeria, to be precise, Afrobeat needs to be like subclassed because right now there are a lot of different music that comes out from Nigeria and they will just all categorize them into Afrobeats, which I don't think is right to an extent. Some songs are more of like party goo, and there should just be a different name for it so that everyone can be a king in their own way. That's the truth. Because if you start to like rate music based on all the songs under Afrobeats in general, a lot of people that create like maybe slower kind of vibes would not dare to match people that create the party faster kind of beats kind of vibes. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So everyone should like have different classes. Just like in this thing in hip hop now, you have or in the American music industry in general, you have different kind of genres. You have the R&B, you have the like. You don't just how like you don't gauge everybody based on the same kind of sound they produce.
Right.
So I feel that that's one thing they need to do. They need to properly structure Afrobeats in general.
Yeah,
because right now anybody that puts out a song is considered as an Afrobeat genre.
Yeah, because I don't consider like Kid from let's say Shinzea or something like that, but they put those two in the same category
on the Afrobeat.
On the
exactly, that's the point.
And does that kind of frustrate you? Like, especially when you come out with music, you just kind of like it has Afrobeat elements or other elements, but they just put you in that category.
Yeah, they always put it in the Afrobeat category, but personally, I don't usually think about that part of my music. All I want to do is create songs that people would enjoy, regardless of if it's trap or it's. I mean, I still have a trap song I'll be dropping soon. It's not rap, but it's a love trap song. So I'm very, very versatile. Let me just put it that way. So I can easily fuck with like different kind of vibes. That's the truth.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, man. I think your voice could be on multiple. Just like as a producer myself, I hear your voice. I'm like, bro, if we could get Ikayh on this track, this would sound so sick. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome because you have a tone to you. And when you were developing your quote unquote like tone, like was there a long struggle to find it?
I don't really think so. I mean, okay, yeah, to an extent, because like I said, I used to rap, so I was never really used to singing. So I decided to try singing out because when I got signed to my label, we already had the rapper and we were not planning to have two rappers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the one that had the most potential to like be able to sing. So I decided to give it a try. I started listening to more of Burna Boy. I don't know, you know Burna Boy, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I started listening to a lot of his songs. So an extent, I kind of sound like him. I think because we just sound alike. It's not like I'm trying to copy his music or something.
Right.
Although I usually get people say, "Oh, you're trying to copy this guy." I'm like, "Yo, I just sound like this." It's not like I'm trying to. I don't use the same wordings as he does. So, but his music kind of like helped me to transition from raps because it feels like when he sings, it's like he's rapping. It's just like switching rap to, or you're switching like a rap lyrics to songs, like singing songs. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's a bit fast, but you're still singing it at the end of the day. So I started like that, and I started creating a couple of songs which will never drop. Songs that I don't think will ever drop because I don't think they're standard enough compared to where I'm at now. So, and from there it was quite easy. I just focused on listening to a lot of R&B songs, and I like rock songs too. Funny enough,
that'll be in the future. Why not rock? Rock EP, a little punk rock.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. You know what I mean? Because I feel like there's like so much potential in all kind of like Nigerian music, Nigerian artists. I feel like we go back to Burna Boy. You can hear Burna Boy even in like an R&B track. I think I don't know. There's so much potential, and especially for you, brother. Yeah, I just see the evolution of it, and just like how much you grow, and just how consistent you are about it too. What helps you be consistent? Do you have like a routine that you do?
I just keep listening to new songs. I mean, new Afrobeat songs. Like I'm very up to date with that. So anytime a new song drops, like I listen to it. I listen to the lyrics pattern. I listen to the wordings. And one thing about creating music in Nigeria is you need to create lyrics that people can relate with. I mean, you don't just come and then put up big languages or big grammars into your lyrics and expect people to relate. You need to use like the street linguas, like the street slangs.
Okay.
And they have to put all that into your music so it's relatable. And that way, I think your music will be able to grow in people's minds easier because it has to be very catchy.
Right.
In terms of lyrics and then vibe. So.
Yeah, because sometimes it could be the beat's hot, but the lyrics are just meh. They're kind of like bland. But you mean
that's like a law. That's a major problem in Nigerian music industry. Like you see some songs that the beats are like dope, and then the lyrics, although the song still moves because the beat is good.
Right. It's like
that's it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the dance world. So basically, somebody could put like a crazy beat on top of it, or even actually I see it more like vocals really good, but the beat is like meh. It's like it's okay. It's just like it keeps you moving.
Yeah,
So I guess it matters when it's certain genres, but I think with Afro beats world, I feel like you kind of have to have at least the fire beat, to kind of keep it
yeah.
people moving.
That's the starter spark. It matters.
Yeah, no.
For an Afrobeat song.
So when you got signed, what was were you nervous? Were you excited like for that new chapter? Because a lot of artists when they get signed, they are under indie artists. That's what they want. They want to get signed. But that emotion is just like that fear of like, oh, what if this doesn't happen? But what's your experience with it so far?
Okay, so before I got signed, I was this artist you're talking about saying, "Oh, I want to get signed. I want to do this. I want to do that," and eventually it came. And the truth is, when I got signed, I hadn't found my sound yet. I mean, that's when I was still rapping then. That's a fact. So like I got sat down. I was like, okay, yo, this is what you have to do. You have to try and find your sound for a while before we start putting out music and everything. Yeah, I felt a bit of pressure. I want to do that because I just thought it was like they were trying to move me away from where I was comfortable with, which is rapping. But then I realized that music is not just for fun, it's the business aspect. You have to go in the direction of where the market is. And in Nigeria, hip hop is not really number one. It's more of Afrobeats, do you understand? So I could see the sense in what they were saying. Now, personally, I had to develop my own skills, like my singing skills. I had to, like I said, start listening to Burna Boy, listening to a lot. And yeah, I had issues creating songs that were not good enough. And they would be like, oh, this song is not good enough. You need to go back. You need to. So at a point, I felt like I wasn't good enough for the music. Like I remember my first time I went to the studio to record, like not recording myself this time. Like I went to an actual producer studio and he was like, oh, I don't like how you sing. And I was like, I felt really demoralized. That's the truth.
Yeah,
and
just
I
devastated.
And I was just considering my career path, like, is this for me and stuff? But with time, and I think that's where coming to find like the right producer as an artist comes into play. Because I felt that guy I was working with he couldn't find my sound. Like he couldn't find my sound as a producer. So until I met Bond, and that's why most of my songs, like Bond has been one of it, producing the beats, mixing and mastering and everything. And that's how we create beautiful songs.
No, I totally agree. Just like how, like the greatest quote I ever heard was Timbaland. Timbaland's like, every Timbaland needs to find their Aaliyah. Every Aaliyah needs to find their Timbaland. And so when you were talking about that, I was like, man, that is so true. Like, cause Bowen found your sound, right? He grabbed your sound and made a beat with it and stuff. So
exactly.
And if an artist can't do that, or if a producer can't do that, then it's just not meant to be. And you know what I mean? So I think it's cool. I think it's, it probably makes your relationship with Bone even stronger because you guys could be honest with one another.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, it's awesome. It's just awesome to see that journey of coming from, unsigned to now being signed. Now you found your sound, and, because you would probably agree that they helped you find your sound, right?
Yeah. Actually, yes, they did, because if I never got signed, I would probably still be rapping now.
Mm-hmm. And that's amazing because a lot of, you hear a lot of crazy, label stories that people get signed and then they get shelved, or they just never get out and stuff. But your story is different, I feel like, because, you're actually making it out. You're doing great music, and I think it probably feels really good about that, right?
Yeah. Definitely did, yeah. And I think another issue with labels is usually when you get to the top, in quotes, then you see, I don't know about how it is in the foreign industry, but here in Nigeria, there are usually label artist problems in the sense that, they do not tend to negotiate contracts, and then the artists are usually having issues with their labels, going to courts, and it's a very repeated cycle. Like you see that a lot. Although my relationship with my label owner is really good, so regardless, I don't think we'll ever have such issues.
No, I think that's the most important, just to be honest and straightforward. Because you hear stories. I've heard, I have a friend that she was a writer and stuff, and she was similar to another artist. So the label signed her, and then they just shelved her because she sounded so close to one of our artists, and they were like, we don't want competitiveness,
Yeah.
and so. But it's great with your story that, with you and your label owner and all that, and just how you could be creative freedom too. Like, because you, like, by the sounds of, like, with your songs, it doesn't sound like you're restricted for anything. Like, you're free to speak whatever you want.
Yeah. That's one thing. I like to have power over my contents. I mean, I let them do their own job, and they have to let me do my job, which is to create the songs. Because I used to have that kind of issue then, that I'll create some kind of song, I'll be like, oh, no, don't do this. And I had to talk to them that I need to have, like, my freedom to express myself in my music. So it doesn't matter how you see the song. Like me, I feel like I've gotten to a stage whereby when I create a song, it's not nonsense. It always makes sense. That's the truth. Like, regardless of if someone says, oh, this song that's makes, I'm like, oh, chill, you need to listen to that like 4 more times. That's what I do now, because I feel I've gotten to a level where I do not make songs that do not make sense. So, and they have seen that from, like, my recent projects and everything. So they just give me that freedom.
No, it's good, because then you're not restricted to what do you want to say, and then you're not competing, right? You're not fighting over, like, what songs you want and stuff. So I think it's great. And then also going back to about lyrics, how some lyrics or some songs don't have a, like, not saying a meaning, but or they're not literary. So do you feel like sometimes songwriting's it's different now than it was before?
Well, yes, I think songwriting was too serious then. I mean, growing up, now if I try to sing some songs that I used to hear when I was growing up, and I'm singing the lyrics, it's like, it sounds too serious. Like, it sounds too serious. So, and I think an element of music right now is the fun part, which is, like I said, the street linguas, the slangs, like those stuffs, when you hear them, like, makes you relate to the music a whole lot than just listening to big grammars. And it makes people learning your lyrics quite faster for people. And I feel once people know your lyrics, like, real easy, your music is already there now. That's the fact. Because as an artist, you're trying to make people know your lyrics. And that's why you always hear the phrase catchy hooks, catchy this, catchy that. And for you to make something catchy, you have to use relatable words.
No, I think it's right that you kind of focus on that rather than we have to focus on the theme of the song, right? Because sometimes do you think, like, if you focus too much on the lyrics, sometimes the overall picture gets cloudy?
Well, for me, not really. I mean, I won't even lie here. Most of the songs I write, they actually are storylines. Like, there's always, if you listen to the lyrics, you always see a story behind it. It might not be so obvious, but then it's either I'm talking about maybe my experience with the babe or my experience with something. Like, there's always a storyline. I've never really had a song where it's just like a freestyle, like go to the east, west, north, south, together and down. I don't really have a song like that. And for me, how will I put it? Like, it makes writing songs easy for me. Once I want to create a song, I just think about the concept. What do I want this to be about? Maybe I want this to be about my experience when I travel to a place, and then when I'm like creating the lyrics, I do not write, but then I just try and play with so many stuff I saw when I went to that certain place. And at the end of the day, I say I'm creating, like, still a storyline music, but then it's not too serious.
No, it's like a movie storyline. You're trying to paint a picture,
Exactly.
but with audio and stuff. Is there something that you've been wanting to write about, but you just haven't had the idea of it? Is there, like, a particular moment of your life, or?
Not really. I think I have put down a lot of, I think in my life I've experienced a lot of things. So if I want to turn that, I'll probably be creating, like, albums, like 11. So 11 albums or more. So, but I tend to pick out, like, the most important moments in my life when I create songs. That's why when I try to talk about my EP, I tell people that this is like an embodiment of my life as a whole. Like, different songs, like Toxic off my EP is basically speaking of my life, like from childhood down to where I'm at the moment, and the things that make me sad, like the experiences I've gone through, even in the music as a whole, it's all put down in the lyrics of Toxic. And then Mercy, obviously, those are songs that are related to girls, and that's just how it is.
No, I mean, it sounds like you've like, especially with the EP. That's why I love the EP so much. I feel like it was really like true to you. Like you had, awesome production, right? But the lyrics were just unbelievable. How you really kind of told your story. You really kind of told, like, because it was, life of Ikayh, Ikayh. So it's like you really told your story. It was almost like a diary or kind of biography of like how moments you in your life, how they felt, how you saw them, how you solved them and stuff. So I think it's excellent. I think that, everybody should listen to that, period, because I think it just speaks of you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. I am going to make that EP more like a series now. I mean, there'll be like a life of Ikayh 2. It might not come anytime soon, although I have plans to drop another EP recent, like this year before the year runs out, but it won't be Life of Ikayh 2. I mean, Life of Ikayh has to do with my life, like you said. So I have to go through certain experiences. I've been going through some, but I'll just pile that for a different moment. So if I'm going to drop another EP, the thing is, I like to express myself in my music. So I have some songs that are like traps. I have songs that are like, there's this sound they call it, like Nigerian music. It's an alternate music, alte, that's what they call it. So I have songs like that as well. So what I like to do is when I create like a bunch of songs like a particular sound, I just put them in the body, and then I could just release like a song that is trap and just call maybe hip hop volume 1 or something like that. That's kind of plans I have. I haven't started doing that.
So you still have you have a lot in the chamber, and you're just kind of seeing where it will go and where it fit.
Yeah, exactly. So when I create different songs, obviously it's with different beats and different kind of vibes. I just have right now I have a lot of songs. I don't do like a lot of songs. So whenever I feel like creating like an EP or a short project, I just go through all my songs along with my team guys. So we get to select which fits, and then we just like subcast them into different groups and stuff. So that's how we arrange our EPs and everything.
So what's the next chapter of Ikayh? Like, what do you really want people to know?
Well, I just want people to know that they haven't seen the best of me yet. That's facts. I mean, most of these songs I have put out, they're not even up to like my best songs. They're just songs like
dang. So you're saying Alcohol is not the best song?
No, that's not my
that's
best
crazy.
Song. That's not my best song. I mean, on that EP, Alcohol is not my best song on that EP, to be honest. Well, with the fact that you go with the listener's choice, so that's it. My favorite song on the EP is Toxic, and then Mercy, and then Alcohol.
I would say Alcohol is like, I love the vibe of it, but you're right about Toxic, like just lyrically, I think it shows your strength. It shows what happened, when, toxicity comes at you, and just like how you just had enough of it. It was just pure amazing, just lyrically of that.
Yeah, I'm a bit happy that Toxic was able to like get to a lot of people, because it's very relatable. In as much as it's my personal story, I feel many people are going through such like similar stories. So to an extent, it was very relatable. And I was like, okay, I was happy with the feedback I got though. So.
No, man. Well, thank you so much, man, for jumping on. It was a pleasure. We go back and forth, and I was just a big fan ever since Alcohol. So I really, really appreciate you just like taking the time. And is there anything coming up? Or how is it going in Nigeria when it comes to COVID? Are you guys opening up shows or?
Well, they just recently passed the law that shows could start holding, but then we're still in the process of vaccinating and everything. So I think that's why it's still on hold for now. Although there are gatherings now, but obviously not a lot.
Okay.
But before let's say August, September-ish, it should be better. But certainly by December, I know there'll be a lot of shows in the country. So
yeah, I feel like everything's kind of like slowly getting back to normal. It's not over, but I feel like people are trying to get back to normal, and I bet I bet it was I bet it was pretty devastating for all the people in your country that with the whole COVID, right?
Yeah, certainly it was. I mean, it was very scary at the start. When we watched the news and saw how it was affecting countries like China, who probably thought it would be worse here. I mean, it's Africa, it's Nigeria, so we all thought it would be worse. But eventually it wasn't as bad as we saw it on the news. But at the end of the day, everyone's taking precautions and everyone's wearing their face masks and stuff. I haven't gotten vaccinated, fun fact, but soon I would.
Is there not that much of vaccines out there? Is that why?
Oh, there's actually vaccines, like they're out there. I mean, it's not mandatory to do that now. So
okay,
and it's not like I'm scared of taking the vaccine either. It's just me being lazy and procrastinating. That's the truth.
Yeah. No, I mean, I got my vaccine shots and I hate shots. I can't, I pass out when the needle comes out. But it's a weird experience because like the first dose, it messed me up. So I didn't get sick, but I was like tired the whole day. The second dose, I don't know, man. It was just nothing. I was like still working, doing music and stuff. So depending on which one you get, I think it might affect you. But I think you guys got Pfizer and Moderna.
A couple of my friends I've taken theirs actually had, not all of them, but a couple of them had side effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I that part too is kind of making me chill off a bit. So it's like,
right. Yeah, you can just still wait it out. We'll see. But thank you, brother. I appreciate you just jumping on, and we'll everybody go listen to Ojoro. It's an amazing track. It's out pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's on all platforms, everywhere.
Spotify and all that.
Stream.
So go check that out, guys.